Alright, so, what was I getting? This one. So, what I think I'll do for this is I'll go up to probably like turn 100 and then stop there. And then that'll probably finish up the Game Mechanics and Fundamentals series. I don't really see any need to continue beyond not only turn 100 but make any more videos in the series. There's no real point. I mean, oh yeah, I remember this. And apparently I have the normal fog. Oh, never mind. But actually, I'm growing to like this fog of war. But I know that probably not a lot of people share the same opinions that I do. So let's see. Research. Trapping has been finished, which I got trapping. This bison is out of range, but same with also this deer. That was mainly for when I was planning on settling here, which I still will, just later sometime. Now we should probably get sailing for, because I do have one coastal city now. I could have made a still can't see, but oh well. Let's repair that salt. Make sure you're working it. And now this caravan, what I can do is, it generally depends. So with caravans you can either send food or gold, and it's really dependent. So, like both of my cities have a tremendous amount of food potential. So, I don't really see a need to send food. Like, this will grow in 4 turns without even a granary. And this one is it's stagnating because I'm producing a settler, but let's see. Yeah. So, and up here you can actually look and see which trade routes are best, which they're actually cargo ships, but see, Hamburg to Panama City. Where's that? Up here. That might not be a safe trade route though. Or what I'll do, let's see, I don't really see that deal as being. What I might do instead is, once I finish the granary in my second city, I can send food back to my capital. Let's get drill, and then we can, what we'll expand to next. One of these, but now we can work on that. So we can potentially get a stable. This will be a good city for a stable. It is, I think I already, no, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 potential pastures. So yeah, I'll leave that here until I finish the granary, and then I'll send food back to my capital. Which, that's actually a really good use of caravans. Like, most people, they use it just for gold, but food from caravans is also really good. Can kill that. Let's see. Continue improving the marble. So now it says marble again. Finished sailing. I usually go for optics after sailing, mainly so I can get like lighthouses in these cities, and also use my unit's ability to embark. Let's see. Now we can improve these two. This city also won't be bad for a stable. Oh. See, he's earning 2 gold. Let's see. I just realized I'm not working the most efficient tiles. Lamp. I might be able to get this in 1. Or no, I won't be able to. It's too late, so it doesn't matter. And we're probably going to want to move these up. Now this one can probably move my second city, because that's the coastal city. And it has grown yet again. So, continuing to use the production trick, of course. Let's see. It's 2 turns to repair. we might as well take out the encampment. Why not? I've basically explored, or at least a good portion of the map. And that's actually pretty much the only unit I have at the moment that is exploring. So, to get that up, that gives me stable potential. It's a hand axe. I think I might have to back off. Hand axes are the most or at least the most powerful early game barbarian unit, and that is because they are more powerful than an archer, and they're less powerful than a composite, but they have more strength than, like, they have the same strength as range attack, kind of like Gatling guns and machine guns and bazookas. So yeah, it's literally saying these are the only two spots I can settle on. But I'm not gonna settle here. I'm gonna settle on top of the wheat, I think. Because this is already, I mainly want to get the resources up here. It's focused I could settle one further up and then get the extra salt, but there's no real purpose for that. What is there? Let's see. Warrior. Yeah, like, I've pretty much explored our entire continent, because I remember that this was a continent's map, so. So, what's this? Oh, they just settled the Uluru. And it's kind of satisfying that it was England who settled it. There isn't an Australian civ in this, so I mean, if I use some mods, there would be, but I don't. Let's work the wheat now. Let's see. Now it's pretty much just this huge blodge in the center. So if I would settle, I can't settle up here, but if I settle here, then I would gain 1 salt. But I would also lose the ability of being on a river. I don't really know. I mainly just see all the resources here and think there has to be a city. Next is writing. Writing is for libraries, which are really important, but usually I don't usually rush writing. Like how I've done, I've waited it out. Actually, what I can do is let's get rid of this caravan. Put it in. Actually, hold on. I want to get the lighthouse first. So like this. That's perfect. The use of the production queue might make things a bit easier if you're having a hard time like balancing what to build and what not to build. Yeah, it's telling me to build here, but this city already has like access to this citrus, and if I built here, there'd just be too many overlapping tiles. The problem is there are a ton of city states in the way, but I'm thinking I might as well just build up here, because over here I get access to all of the resources that these two cities wouldn't get. And although I'm not on a river or a hill, I have kind of this like wall of city states. Let's see. So yeah, I'm starting to agree with my plan. Let's settle that. But yeah, I didn't rush the city this time, so I guess that's fine. Let's see. 1, and I'm getting a worker, so there's no need to hold on. Let's get a granary. Alright, next turn. And then now that the granary is finished, we can send food to Berlin. Which normally honestly it didn't really do much. It made it like a 1-turn difference, but once you get like universities and the guilds, then and you have to start working those specialist slots, then that's when it kind of makes a difference. Because like sometimes if like let's say I have these two cities sending food, both of them, then that's quite a bit of food going to my capital. And especially since the food on the caravans, it scales later in the game, so that's that's it's pretty good. So like in the beginning it might be like 3 or 4, but by the late game it should be like 5 or 6. Cargo ships are better, but my capital isn't coastal. After writing, normally people go philosophy, but I don't really see a reason to, because you're not going to get the national college. Like, I take my time with the libraries. I prefer to build my cities up and then build the libraries. So like what I do instead is I go construction for the coliseums in cities that need happiness. So like my empire is kind of almost unhappy. That's not really a good thing. So oh yeah, now that I've worked all the resource tiles in my capital, or I've improved all of them, that's usually when I start connecting my cities up before I start like spamming farms everywhere. Let's try and help the city-state with that camp, shall we? Sometimes if you have a camp but the barbarians aren't that much of a problem, you can let it sit and let's actually add libraries. See now, it doesn't matter which one builds the caravan. It's a library, shrine, and caravan before the circus. Yeah, now I've all 3 grew at once. So, and yeah, so now my people are unhappy. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before in the playthrough, but now since it's already in production focus, you can just click reset tiles. It doesn't work the max amount of production, but it works to an amount so you won't stagnate or starve. So apparently I don't have the wheel. 2 more turns. Alright. Stoneworks, that's 0. And what is that? Forest grassland. So we're going to want to get drill 1 for that. Polynesian, second city. Samoa, extremely close, which probably means they went Liberty. Let's just double check. Let's double check. Oh no, they went tradition. Usually if tradition, you usually want further out cities. Like if I went Liberty, I probably would have, what I would have done is I probably would have gotten a city here, then a city here, and then maybe a city here, and then like a city here. Just pretty much just finding as many available spaces for cities as possible and then taking them. It's kind of what you want to do as Liberty. Let's see, the wheel. So we can hook up the sheep, or the cattle, I guess. Is it actually? Yeah, it's sheep. For some reason, I always think it's something different, because I always call this cow, or at least I always want to, I guess. Oh no, I have it on production focus, yet it's not working the second production tile. I guess the AI, or the programming in this for that specific part isn't that smart. Let's see, watermills next. Those are really good. It's essentially a granary that, rather than buffing food tiles, it provides an extra production. But 2 food, that's basically 4 food just from buildings. That's really good. Let's take out that spearman. Alright, now, alright, yeah, it's working at our salt tile. I'm probably going to get a religion this game. That's nice. Normally on immortal difficulty, I don't really go for religion because the hard truth is that the AI, they'll just spam missionaries in your religion. Will most likely get purged. But if you do go religion, then that's good, I guess. Good for you. Maybe if I went Piety during the playthrough, but then again, that might. I haven't even been immortal yet, so I'll wait till that happens. Then I might think of stuff like that. Can I? Yeah, I can. Oh, how much HP is that? 2 HP. Oh, of course. At least it isn't 1 HP, to be honest. I'd rather have it be 2 than 1. I have 1 HP. I hate. That's like probably one of the things I hate about the game most. I hate few things, but one of the things I hate is that when you attack and it just has like 1 HP. Yeah, I don't want to actually take my worker, so I'm going to move my warrior. But it might go into the encampment, so I guess that won't matter either way. Like, yeah, so I'm on full production focus, and I can do that because I'm sending food to my capital. And then I finish the see, now that I finished that, we can go philosophy. Like, I don't even have a library in my 3rd city. Colosseum. Circus I usually get first because it's inexpensive, or well, it's cheaper, and not only that, it also has no maintenance cost, which is really nice for like situations when I'm using where I'm using the trade arts for food. If I get a second one, I'll probably send it from Munich to my capital. And once I connect these 2 cities, my gold should be fine. You can shoot from a tile away. I might consider settling like some sort of city here, but it literally is 1 tile, a 1 resource that my other cities wouldn't have. I was thinking mainly for the pearls, but my capital already appears to be close, and it's the same distance away, so I can just send a workboat from Hamburg to that. What I can do actually, hold on. Alright, there, second salt improved. Salt is amazing. I kind of got an OP start, I would say. Even though I'm kind of crammed behind these city-states, salt and marble, it's not bad. So once if I start going numbers, well, since I'm so, I wouldn't say adjusted, but since I'm so used to playing on like a more difficulty, I don't really build wonders in multiplayer games. Or at least I don't go for like wonders just because they're wonders, which that's kind of a bad thing because like some civs some people they can just like they just spam wonders, and that's actually a pretty successful strategy. Second caravan. I have to see. I will send this caravan to Munich and have them send food. Ooh, nice. I got the conversion. I think that's only the 2nd encampment I've taken out this game, though. And it also, I was going to say, it usually counts as a brute, so that's pretty cool. Actually, from here, food to Berlin. And once we finish that, and we get our 3rd trade route from Compass, then I can probably send food to from Berlin to my other cities. Or I can use it for gold, depending on how much. I'm at -11 right now, but once I get currency, then that should be fine. And I also have a couple of extra units that I got from, well, only 1 from the encampment, but it's actually, I'm going to keep that around. I have 213 excess gold, so I can't really go under in any amount of time less than 20 turns. Unless for some reason I start losing a ton more gold, which I don't know why that would happen, but it could. Let's see, philosophy. Let's see, temple. Since I'm doing religion, I might as well go for temples, I guess. There's no reason not to. I mean, this city, it hasn't even built a shrine, so I'll wait till it builds a shrine. Let's see, 1 turn till the circus in my capital, and then I'll get horseback riding, and I'll probably get stables in these 2 cities. I might get one in Munich for this cattle. Yeah, so this actually is 2 pastures. This is 2, and then this is 4. So, yeah, I'm gonna wanna. All right, now, well, my seed's gonna grow in 1 turn, so there's no real point in changing it to food focus now. Let's see. I don't need iron. I haven't gone bronze working, so, or no, I have. I just don't have any. Oh, I got my great prophet. Am I the first one? No. The Maya already have found their religion. But the second one, that's still pretty good to be the second one. Let's see. Now we can start a road to Munich. Let's see. Religion, I'll probably go for Protestantism to match them. And then tithe is the best. And then pagodas are good. And now I'll probably save up for pagoda in my capital. Unless I get all these happiness buildings, then I'll probably just save up for another great profit. But it's actually better to get them, because the price of the faith building scales throughout the game. So if you get, I think it's 130 for the classical era, 200 for the medieval era. I don't really know how it scales, but all I know is that it does. So let's see. This one has finished the road. Now I'm only at -3 gold, so that's good. But now we can get a farm here along the river, so that we get the buff from civil service. Horseback riding has been finished, so we're gonna need to add stables. Normally you don't get stables if you only have like 1. It's just something that I notice a lot of people don't really build them, but they're honestly not that bad really. Especially in a city like Hamburg, that's a really good stable city. Oh, and then now that we have the fish, we can add a workbow as well. Maybe put that above the stable. Herbal, I don't really have a need to. Since that city already has tons of food potential, I don't have the pantheon for production for my workboats. Now that we got our horseback riding, we'll go medieval era through theology. That's a common thing. If you focus it hard, you can get it before 80, maybe even like 500 BC-ish. But I've kind of went out of my way to get some other texts, so let's see. Since I don't really have the happiness to maintain growth, I'll just leave my cities on production focus, and they still grow on production focus, just not as much. Like, this is still a good amount of growth. And now I can actually get the National College, since I got the last library. National College is really good. If your capital is an observatory city, that means if you have the 2 together, that's 100% growth, or not growth, science output. So you're essentially getting double the science of what you would. And that's especially good if your capital is a high population. Because the science buildings, the research lab is another 50%, so that'd be 150. Well, universities are only 33%, but essentially all these modifiers plus the population can lead to a huge amount of science. Let's see, yeah, we're at -1 now, so let's see. And I've somehow managed to have the same exact amount of faith as I did before. I don't know how, but I might have deselected some of the salt tiles. I don't know why it would, but let's see. No, we can leave the warrior here, just leave the composite. This is enough for me not to be in last, and I'm 1 in everything, so like, people, if this were a actual game, then it's pretty notable that I'm winning at this point, especially since I'm going to get the National College in 6 turns, which probably, I'm already at 34, which isn't, it's about average, but it's on turn 69, so that's really good for that time. Usually, you don't see your science to really increase until like 70 or 80-ish, and that's when it usually gets to like 30, 40, 50. And that's usually with the National College. You usually don't see an R increase until like 80, 90, 100 till universities, but if you play correctly, See, that caravan ended. We're gonna redo it. Just continue sending food. I'm at negative gold, but I could always, if I go under in a deficit, then what I could always do is I could always just turn on gold focus and have my cities work more gold tiles. That usually works to solve it. But another thing that works to solve it is just gain markets. Let's see. There are some grassland river tiles that can be worked in that city. So this city still needs some wheat tiles worked. Add to queue. Let's see. I'm gonna add all these. And then our capital will get the Writers Guild, but since we're sending 2 caravans worth of food, there's no need to worry about there's no need to worry about whether or not I'll be able to maintain that. Because in our games, if you're using gold trade, you kind of have to it's like a balance between your city growth and the specialist slots. If you get freedom, you can just work every one, but for the earlier game, that's kind of a problem, and it can harm you immensely if you don't deal with it. Now we'll go for education. That's the next science building, and that's what our victory requires. So we're just gonna follow it at this point. Normally I would consider attacking someone, but who would I? I mean, the most likely, these two are too far away. Well, they're not really, but this one is the Great Wall. This one is on the opposite side of the map. In England, they're going to have a better navy. Speaking of which, I should probably toughen up. I should probably reinforce Hamburg in anticipation for their navy, because they always go navy. And once they get ships to the line, then I kind of have to be prepared if they attack me. Hanging Gardens in 6 turns. Did anyone else go tradition? Yeah, they have. If I have nothing to build on I might consider going for it. But kind of have to build up my buildings, my cities first. It's more important. And I'm also using 2 caravans, which is about the same, if not more, food than I would have gotten from the Hanging Gardens. And the city also has the potential for a garden, so it's not like I have to build it just for that. Let's see. So yeah, let's take a quick look. Let's see. Yeah, I've climbed up in terms of everything, or at least the top 5. Population, crop yield, manufactured goods, GMP, and land. Land isn't so much important. The top 4 are pretty important. Literacy is important, but it's also misleading as well. Approval, that's important, and I'm failing that miserably, but I'm going to have my cities on production focus so they won't grow as much. And then I also have Colosseums queued up after all these buildings. Yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. At this pace, we only have 1 more video in this series, and which will probably be the next video for this to turn 100, and that'll just be wrapping up the early game. And to be honest, that kind of goes into the mid game. Like, the early game probably ends about now, but it's all relative depending on which pace you play at. But turn 100 is just a good turn to stop at. I can use it as kind of like, I can evaluate my civ and how well it's done at turn 100. Or it's easy for me to see that. Like, there's some pretty good numbers, like 100 science by turn 100. You probably want to be in like plus 20-30 gold. Obviously you want to be happy. Culture, you should probably have the guilds worked and then producing grit works. Faith, if you're doing faith, you probably want to be gain like at least religion by turn 100. If you're going heavy faith, you might maybe want an enhancement or some faith buildings or like missionaries to spread it. But yeah, turn 100 is just a pretty good place to stop and evaluate your position in the world stage. So, yep, that's it for today's video. Tomorrow it is then.